Hi, this is Chloe, and today I'm absolutely delighted to be unboxing the Dreams of Gaia tarot, though I do apologise for being a little bit croaky. I've got a sore throat. So, this is an 81 card deck which has rather a different structure to a normal tarot. So it won't be to everyone's taste, but it does look to be absolutely beautiful. Let's have a look inside the box. It's a deck from Blue Angel, and their production quality is always very high, always has been in the past. I'm already loving the gorgeous dark crows in here and the quality of the box, which is nice and firm but still opens easily. And inside we have a little bit of paper. So next we have the deck and the book, which to seek, to feel, to grow, to heal. Absolutely gorgeous. And the cards here. So let's move this out of the way. Let's take a first look at the book. So very nicely done. Grayscale images. And we can see straight away the structure. Even though this isn't a traditional tarot, we have 25 major arcana, starting with the choice, then the child, the maiden, the youth, the mother. So we'll have a look at all of that. So it is quite different. Then we have 4 suits. We have Earth and cards Ace to 12, and then the Queen and King. Card 12 is always a person as well. Fire and water. So we have a very similar structure to tarot. There are 14 cards in each suit, but it looks like only 3 of those are people cards. We'll take a look and see. Then we have an introduction onto the tarot, keeping a tarot journal, deck structure, card spreads, the guide, a 3-card one. So beautifully illustrated. Some interesting one, the Dreamer's spread and the Dreaming Tree spread. Okay, and then we dive into the cards. Each card has several pages worth of information with a grayscale, keywords, key phrases, meaning, the past, the present, the future, potential blockage. So kind of interpretations in those positions. Let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So the book has a lot of detail for each card, a little less with the sort of minors, but still plenty there to dive into. And let's dive into the actual deck. Let me move you in a little closer. So, the cards are about tarot length, a little bit too large to hold, and a little bit more square than many tarot cards, which is nice. It makes reading them quite easy. They've got a lovely gilt and very plain black back with a pretty border. So they aren't actually fully reversible. This is quite funny. The border up here is gold and the border down here is red. Gold and red. So these are not reversible cards, even though they are almost fully black, which is an interesting choice to have made. I don't tend to work with reversals anyway, so that's not something that bothers me, but it's something to be aware of. And now we start with choice. And these cards, there's quite a darkness to them. They've chosen a black border, which I'm guessing is going to kind of add to that. That's been a big theme of the deck. But there's a lot in there, so much symbolism. There's water running off the edge of a planet, there's a golden apple, there's 3 gateways into infinity, there's a dark and a light face, but both have eyes that are blank. One is crying, which ends up being the river. This has a real big goddess feel to it, a snake and a river symbol coming in, a torch to light the way, a Celtic knotwork bit above, and a kind of angel sword and a huge tree. So lots going on there, very beautiful. Then we have the child, the maiden, oh lovely again, the youth, I love this, the mother, pregnant with a turtle at her feet, the father, so it's not purely a sort of goddess girly deck. We do have strong male archetypes, the crone, the sage, another strong male, death and rebirth, cosmic egg, black skulls. So very powerful cards, but very strong images. We have knowledge, there's the golden apple again. So I like the way already that the symbols are playing in and out of the different cards, you can connect them. We have wisdom with a beautiful bear mask, and the guy has white hair and yet a young looking face, so quite hermit-like, but at number 10, just to confuse you a little bit more. Healing with a caduceus, sort of, except it's only a single snake, and a frog down here, and a frog there as well, very feminine symbols. And we have love. So totally different major arcana. There's really no relating them. Union is at 13, death, and self, where we would normally see temperance. And these are absolutely beautiful. I adore the dragons, the colour, the vibrancy of them, the richness. Destiny at 16, which is the same image or part of the same image as was used on the front of the box and on the deck and the book cover rather. And we have journey, offering us a dark and a light path. We have thought, kind of Ceridwen feel to that for me. Emotions, beautiful. A sword held horizontally, perfectly balanced. Things come off it. A heart, a kind of dragon spirit, and a person below looking sad. We have desire, perception, intuition, spider's web, lovely, and yes, a kind of, I don't know if that's a dark apple or a dark potion. Ooh, integrity, interesting. Pan-like, but it's a woman's sensual figure. A cheetah or a leopard, an owl. Celtic signs, a waterfall behind. Faith. And there's a little typo here. This should actually be 24 faith instead of 14 faith. So that's a little bit confusing. This is actually the final card of the majors, slightly equivalent to the world, perhaps. And we've got this turtle here again that we had before. And so now we move into the elements cards. So I think This is Earth, yes, the suit of Earth. And we have a big dragon for the ace. 2 of Earth similarly has a balance feel. 3 of Earth, planting acorns for growth. I love squirrels, has to be said. 4 of Earth, interesting. There's the horns, but also a bee. 5 of Earth, ooh, has a dark feel. Playing cards, someone looking sorrowful in the back, and the red horns. Lots of horns here. The 6 of Earth, bounteous supply. 7 of Earth, being connected with being the actual trunk of the tree and with chakras. 8 of Earth. 9 of Earth. So there's a lot to look at here, a lot to work with. 10 of Earth, but it's definitely not traditional tarot, so to speak. And here we have 11, Heaven and Earth. 12 is the Seneschal. 13, the Queen of Earth, beautiful. And 14, the King of Earth. Moving on to air, we start with another dragon, this time kind of white, absolutely lovely. Oh wow, the 2 of air has a similar 2 of swords balance feel. Reminds me of a card from Emily Carding's Tarot of the She. 3 of air, 4 of air. I'm not sure I like this chap, he's all about routine and discipline. 5 of air, wonderful. 6 of air. So the colour palette here has really changed. You can really see at a glance that these are air cards. And 7 of air. I think the 7 of earth also had a third eye. Oh, there's quite a few third eyes going around. Okay. And yet more. 10 of air, beautiful. Love it. Okay, so the 11s are always a kind of coin with a head and a, this is body mind, the other one was earth and something, and then 12 is a person. We had the seneschal, now we have the scribe, and then we have the queen and the king. So it's a very clear structure, but not what we're used to, even though it is a structure. Oh, gorgeous. So fire, dragons. Oh, wonderful. Very fool-like card. And that has a kind of 8 of wands feeling from the tarot, but you know, we'll find different things. I think for myself, you either have to read it with the book, or you could even just use it almost as an oracle, but keeping in mind that idea of structure. I love this card. It's supposed to be about sort of negotiations, but I also see it when you work on something together as a project, and you know, do you need a mediator to help you with that, for example? Oh, lovely. This is very phoenix-like. 9, a rose blossoming. And 10, oh wow, look at that. Fiery with the chakras, a feeling of making an energy. We have masculine and feminine as our opposites here on number 11 of fire. And we have the hero for our extra person before we move into the Queen of Fire, beautiful, and the King of Fire. And finally, water, our ace dragon. Love this. It does have a 2 of cups feel. And yet then we move on somewhere else entirely. 3 of cups, 3 of water, 4 of water. Interesting, sort of Is that a mirror? Is it a wand? 5 of Cups. 6 of Cups. So the faces are incredibly expressive as well. There'll be a lot to work with in that regard. And then the symbolism, the suit's very clear. We have chakra things come up quite often. This looks a very happy card. Connection with the universe, with the moon, with the cycles. 9 of Cups. Water, rather. 10 of Cups. Dearie me, I'm on a cups thing, sorry. 10 of water. Ooh, dear. Emotion versus intellect is our 11 card. The Counselor for 12. And then the final cards. The Queen of Water. The Crab and Turtles. And the King of Water. And I really like that they both have this triple moon thing, but in quite different ways. Hers is greener and the eye is wider. His is more pure white with a smaller eye. So lots of different things to help you find meanings. Now, as I say, it has a very detailed guidebook, so you can obviously read that if you want to understand the system from the artist and creator's perspective. The cards also have a great richness to them, and I think that you could use them intuitively in that regard. That's probably going to be my first port of call, I have to say. They shuffle quite nicely. I'm making a bit of a mess of it, but I think that's just because I'm trying to keep within the bounds of the frame. So yes, they shuffle quite well. With gilt edges, I always do worry a little bit about riffling them because you don't want to lose that lovely gilt. But let's give it a try so that you can see. I'm going to try it this way, I think. And actually they riffle very beautifully. They have a nice flexibility to them while still feeling... They don't feel flimsy, they feel nice. They feel quite plasticky, which will give them a durability despite being thin. So they don't need to be thick card because they're quite plastified. I actually like that in a deck. Not everyone does, I know, but that's, something to be aware of. And with our non-reversible and yet so clear and dark deck borders, backs, and first card, the 9 of Air. Beautiful. And this is the one that's also used on the back of the book, I believe. Let's have a look at that. Yep, that's from the back of the book, on the back of the book as well. A gorgeous thing of clarity of ideas brings growth, an awareness and a fire, a passion, the inspiration of ideas and that connection to the universe. This looks like a beautiful card to me for the channeling of inspiration and ideas and then bringing them into manifestation. She kind of has angel wings as well. Absolutely wonderful card. So that is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Blessed be.